What's up, fam? We back. This is our third episode of Me and the Homies Been Talkin. Me and the Homies Been Talking. And here at MC, we've been doing a lot of talking about vulnerability. And this topic that we're going to be speaking of today in our community is most of the time referred money. How quick are you to get assistance in regards to money? How quick are you to get assistance in regards to just your holistic well-being? That takes vulnerability, right? I know. But it's power in it. It's power in being vulnerable. I wanted to lean into that, okay? So when you go into a situation and it calls for you to be vulnerable, think about the outcomes of what's going to happen. And also continue to have those boundaries in place, right? We don't want to get too loose to the point that, we're being vulnerable, then we get taken advantage of. That is not what I'm asking us to do. But what I'm saying is stand in your power of being vulnerable, right? Because you have a decision, you have a choice, you can do it. All right, y'all, we made it to my homies. But before we get into who they are and what they do, we're going to say a quick prayer and roll into it. All right. God, we say thank you so much for allowing everyone to get here safely today and also joining us and to spread a good word in regards to finances and how we can be better with those, Lord. I just ask you to speak through us on this podcast today, God, and also bless those who are here and those who are not here, God. And we say thank you so much for this opportunity and also just to get back to our community in a different way, Lord. In Jesus' name I pray, amen. All right. We finna get into it. I've been knowing these young ladies for a minute now. So, first runner up, we got Brittany Thomas.
Hello, everyone.
Hello. Yeah, I met Brittany in middle school.
Middle school? Yep. No, high school.
Was it high school?
Yeah.
We went to the same middle school. I feel like I've known
we didn't meet in middle school.
Yeah. Nah, we weren't together in middle school. Nah. But listen, y'all. This accountant babe, boss babe, she does it all. She's a super mom, super wife, a super Brit. And now she's our super accountant, okay? She's coming from Jones and Neal Accounting, where they provide bookkeeping, accounting, and tax services. Come on now, y'all. We could be backed up from time to time. So make sure you reach out if you need some help. Welcome, Britt. Welcome. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me today, Chantrice.
Absolutely. Thank you for being here. Anything else you want to say to our fam? Or did I gather it all for you?
I think you got it all. I'm here for any financial consulting, any thing that deals with finances. Let me know if you need some help.
I'll direct them to you. Uh-oh. So y'all know about Brittany Thomas, Miss Britt. Now we coming to Miss Lakeithia Caldwell, young twin. If you think you're seeing doubles, you probably are. One of them have lots and the other one does not. Okay. All right. Miss Caldwell is a CPA, accountant, financial wellness, and small business consulting. Welcome, Lakeithia. Welcome.
Thank you, Chantrice, and thank you for having me on your platform.
Absolutely. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Feeling good. Ready to talk numbers. Not really numbers, but we're going to talk mental health when it comes to numbers. So I'm excited.
Oh, so am I. So yes, as you all hear, we will be talking about finances, okay, under the scope of wellness, vulnerability, and also healing. And we hope that's what you receive as we talk, okay? So, first question. I'm going to have you answer, Miss Caldwell, okay?
Oh, Lord, you going to put me on the hot seat.
Oh, yeah. You ready? Let's see how ready you are, girl. Let's go.
What we got?
All right, so when were you first introduced to money?
I would say my most vivid memory of money was probably, I don't know, I was definitely under the age of like 8, definitely for sure. But I remember my dad taking us to the store, and he'll give us some money to get some candy, because you know daddies don't really care about what you eat. So I'm buying like junk food and things like that. And so that's my first time ever remembering handling money. I don't remember how old I was, but let me tell you, that period of like handling that money introduced me to hustle. So because we used to get the money, my dad would give us the money to buy the snacks. I have 2 younger siblings. I'm the oldest. They eat their snacks up fast, and I would bag my snacks up. So when they were done, I would resell them what I didn't eat. So that was my first. What you say?
You said, let me flip this candy real quick.
You gotta do what you gotta do. But that was my first introduction to money that I can vividly remember. Other than like trying to teach my siblings how to count money when we were younger, but that was my first memory of it.
I love that. I could stick in there too, because my granddad, y'all can school. But I always like to go get McDonald's breakfast, right? He was like, go up there, tell them what you want. I'm like, why you can't go tell them what I want? So I would say I can relate to you when you say they just put you out there. They say, hey, handle it. You gotta handle it.
And then want to ask you, did you get the right change back? How do I know?
Girl, that's what he would say. Make sure you catch the change.
Exactly. But we all were young, and we were learning, and the first part of it is being exposed to it. So they did right.
There you go.
True.
Absolutely. Remember that, y'all. The first part is being exposed to it. All right, Miss Brittany, you ain't done. What about you? When were you introduced to money?
I would say it was a little different for me. As a child, we didn't really talk about money much, or bills or anything like that. The parents had the money, they dealt with it, and that was that. So I would say my first experience, I started working at 16, but you know how they say you don't notice something until you don't have it. So I would say I was exposed to money in college, because it got a little sparse around that time. So I would say then, because you were my roommate, so it was hard times then. And my mama, she used to send me a strict budget weekly. I think it was like $30, and I used to have to spend that $30 wisely. And I think that's when it kind of clicked to me, the importance of money and what you spend it on, and how you gonna get it as well. So.
Oh wow! You said $30.
Yeah.
You sound like me when I was in high school.
$30 a week.
That sound like me when I was in high school, going on trips, and my parents giving me $20-$30 to spend on a weekend out of town for some organization, and everybody else parents that gave them $150. I got 30 that I got to figure out how I'm gonna eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Everybody, they got to take you to the mall this high school. What am I gonna buy with my last $5 that I got left over? So I definitely understand that, Brittany.
Oh wow! I love how we have like 2 different perspectives, right? But yeah, we still chose to go into the money business. Okay,
Right.
let's keep going. So we talked about how we were introduced to it, right? Did you all witness like positive like reinforcement amongst like family members or like parents as far as money is concerned? Did you all see like different like positive scopes of that, like money management at all?
I experienced different perspectives, because my dad, like you said, Lakeithia, he was into like no money limit was on, making memories and having fun as far as his family. So I kind of picked up that habit. Like when it comes to my kids and making memories, the money is the money. But my mom, on the other hand, she showed me, that if you wanted to have money, you got to work hard. Because she was a hard worker. She was always working, but she would have nice things and she would buy what she wanted because she worked hard for it. So I think kind of balanced out.
I think
Yes,
it's
man,
funny how.
my bad, what you say, twin?
Well, go ahead, Miss Slay.
I was just saying, Britt dad was like, you can have whatever you like. Mama said, you gotta work to get what you
Yeah.
want.
I was gonna say I think it's funny how all of our situations are. I don't know if they're similar, but you know how we have like positive role models, and you have, I wouldn't say not positive, but people who just don't know. Because I think that when it comes to financial literacy in the Black community, or my, I don't know, in a lot of communities that uh, a lot of people are just not knowledgeable about financial literacy. So for me, growing up, the only positive role model I had as far as finances went was like my grandmother, and she was the epitome, still is the epitome of hustle. I mean, like I remember being in middle school or elementary school. I was in the second or third grade, and I think the teacher asked like, "What do our parents and grandparents do for a living?" And I'm like listening out, like my grandmother does this, she does this, she does that, because all of these are like her different hustles. Like she gonna find a way to make some money. Even to this day, like she'll do like the multi-level marketing. I've been an Avon representative since my mom was a kid, and obviously Avon is antiquated. Like people don't really buy. Some people still buy, but it's not really big. And so, and my mom, being that she grew up with that product, she was like, "Mom, ain't nobody buying that stuff and all that." And she'll talk about it. And my grandmother's response is always, "All right, when you need to borrow some money, this is where it's coming from." So that was my first time having like a positive light around money, or she's like the one who had the positive light around money, because she was all like I said, all about hustle, all about budgeting, all about all those things. But on the other side of my immediate household, the relationship wasn't as positive. Um, and so there was a lot of struggle. There was a lot of lack of financial knowledge. Like I said, going on weekend trips with school on school events, not having enough money to like do the things that other students were able to do. So that in itself taught me how to be financially independent. Just seeing like a positive side of it. And I'm not saying my grandmother was like wealthy by far, but what she had, she learned how to make do with it, versus other people in my life where they mismanage money, and then I'm like learning what not to do, or how can I better increase my future if I'm ever placed in this situation.
So grandma taught you the
So
ropes.
would any of you say, yeah, would any of you say you learned details about money as a child, as far as how to save and how to pay bills?
The only thing I learned as a child was how to call the light office and tell them to give us an extension. Because my mom would be like, hold this phone, wait till the light office get on so we can. That was the most I learned about paying bills. I was like, oh, if I ain't got it, I can call them and say
Right.
something to get them to postpone this
Yeah.
payment. But that was the one thing I learned. As I got older, maybe like teenager, and being involved with church activities and fundraisers, my grandmother was helping, like I guess, spearhead that committee for the donut sale. And so she and I would sit down and try to figure out the budget, and we put together a projection of how many donuts we need to sell to meet our goals. So that was something that I learned maybe like early teenage years doing that.
Okay.
I would say, for me, my grandma, like she still boss with it, right? She even, but the lag was communicating what to do with the finances. Like she knows what to do, but just the way in which to communicate with me. Because you give a college student a card, I went off the hinges. So it's just like, but now right? But now that I'm older, I understand her concept and helping me to build credit, because she was like, she understands what I need her to do, right? But I didn't because I didn't see it from no one else, right? I just saw her doing what she had to do. And I would notice my mom and dad, but it wasn't a conversation. It wasn't a conversation. But I remember in elementary school, we went to this program and we did a simulation where we would write checks and stuff like that. But all I really remember is writing checks because it was fun. But so I never really understood that concept because, yeah, it just wasn't spoke about. But now,
Was
as
that Junior Achievements, Shantries?
what you say?
Was that Junior Achievements, the organization that
No,
did
it
that?
was some city.
Mm.
It was some city, but yeah, that was some city. But yeah, so I second that. Like I witnessed my grandma because once again, she worked for what she wanted, like your mom said. She's still to this day out here hustling. she can flip a pack of chicken real quick for you. Right? Want a pack of chicken? Well, Jean know how to make it work, baby. You know what I'm saying? She'll tell you real fast. You know what I'm saying? What you say?
I think the audio is having like some kickback at the end of like, and it echoes back a little bit.
For everyone?
I heard it when I finished up talking, and it just did it when you finished up talking.
It did. Okay.
And I don't know what Brittany is. She frozen?
Am I
I'm gonna have to
frozen?
edit this.
We see you
Oh,
now.
there we go. There we go.
Yeah. Did you say something, Britt?
No. No, but I do think that's the disconnect from generation to generation. The difference, I think our parents gave us a little bit more credit than they should have, as far as what we should know and what we yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because once again, it's like no one gives you a handbook to be a parent, right? Especially if you've learned a certain type of behavior, you necessarily don't know how to communicate that to your kids other than, hey, I'm the provider. Help me out real quick. Keep it going. So once again, you know, like you said,
Right.
you have to be exposed to it in order to understand what to do with it. All right. So any last thoughts on that topic before we move forward? Nope. All right. Next up, what is your biggest money fear and why? I'm gonna come to you, Britt. What is your biggest money fear and why?
So for me, I would think it would be not having a financial impact past my lifespan. So not leaving anything after I'm gone to help support and get my kids to a different level than where I started from.
That's good. I felt it.
Because we talk about, you know, that's the main topic nowadays is generational wealth, and I think it's a big deal, and it's a big part of why our communities are so far behind. And I definitely want to get past that and break that generational curse, per se.
Mm-hmm. I love it. I love
That
it.
is good.
That was real good.
You gonna bring it. You're already on the right track to doing that anyway.
For sure, for sure. You want to know me?
Miss Jones Accounting.
Yeah, I'm trying. One step at a time.
I know that's right. All right, Twin. What about you? Bridget dropped them gems. What you got for us?
Honestly, when I think about money, I don't really have fears. And I say simply because like I don't come from a lot. And so one thing my stepdad always told me is that he's like, a lot of people like step out on the top. And when you step out on the top, the moment you fail, your life come crashing. Like, what do I do? Like, that's just like these CEOs, the CFOs get caught for fraud, and the first thing they do is commit suicide. So, like, it's probably the public humiliation, plus not wanting to go to jail, plus knowing that they may possibly lose everything, and now they're on the bottom, and they're afraid of how they feel. So, for me, being that I know what it's like to be on the bottom. And to what my stepdad said was when he's been on the bottom before, the fall doesn't hurt as bad. It's not. And so with that being said, like I have hardly any fears surrounding money. The things that I've learned as a kid, the sacrifices that I've had to make, learning how to fend for myself and create budgets, create strategic financial plans and things like that. I know that whatever situation I want my life to become, I can create that. Like I know a lot of people say, you know, I don't know, not everyone's gonna be a millionaire. So I understand. But I feel like, and I know that I have the aspirations, I have the desires, and I know how to create a financial plan to get me to whatever level in life I want to be. And if I ever find myself on the bottom again, like I was growing up, I have the tools to get myself out of it. I have the ability to cope with whatever situation I'm in because I've been there before, but I've also been out of it. So I know that no situation will ever be that forever.
Started from the bottom. And,
You
gotta get in.
Lakeithia, you mentioned something about stepping out on top, because that's a good point, because I do have that fear with my children and giving them too much, and are they going to understand the concept of working hard and all of that. So that's a good point. I like that you mentioned that. I'm hoping that that's not something that they have to go through, but they do have examples of working hard and things like that. But I do see other races and their offspring and how they gain fortune over inheritance and wasted, and it goes down from there. So that was a good point. I like that.
I think the biggest thing is like financial literacy is so important, right? So teaching anybody you can, honestly, but especially your offspring, the importance of financial literacy and teaching them hustle. Like I'm all about hustle. I'm all about what skills that I know that hustle culture has like bloomed and blossomed so much that everybody is using every inch of their talents to make money and their hobbies to make money. And now we're overwhelmed because everything I do, I'm making money off of it. And I just want to have fun because I'm at the point right now where I'm like, I just want to have fun. I've hustled. I just want to enjoy my life right now. I want to start a family. I want to do stuff like that. But I do understand. But whenever I do get to the point, and even for like anyone who has kids or family or relatives, whatever, teaching them financial literacy. And then also teaching them that, hey, if you're ever in a bind, use your resources to get you to where you need to get next level.
No, and truly being intentional. It would, but everything happens for a reason, right? But that's why it's so important to see people who look like us, who've been in different perspectives, right?
Mm-hmm.
And made it. Because, representation is key. But I'm so thankful that I have you all in my corner, pushing me towards where I need to go and not giving up on me. But we also have to be realistic. Not everyone has that. So we're giving them that right now. So I'm just so grateful and thankful to have y'all here. Am I gonna cry? Not right now. When I get up here, definitely. You know what I'm saying? I'm a crier. But But just hearing just the steps you all are taking and just the intention behind it and just sticking to the goal, right? And first of all, having those goals. Because most of the time, I feel like our goals identify heavily with our career as well, right? Mm-hmm. I know for me, I've been in to that nature. But now it's like, okay, what I'm about to do. I say it to say, it sucks, but that doesn't mean you can't get over that hump of not knowing the right tools and resources. You have to lean in on those available resources and entities that want to help you. And also searching out, outsource. as we talk about all the times, we're outsourcing what you need, and it takes vulnerability, as we talked about in our wellness tip. Okay, I'm off my high horse. Not even my high horse. What's it called?
Trace, you just called me a twin, and I don't think you introduced me. It's okay.
So yeah, so this is Lakeithia. I'm sorry, you all. I think I did.
No, I take twin.
Lakeithia. I just said Brit. Because the thing about it, y'all, this is me and the homies been talking. And I'm home.
It is.
All right, so next we got our next question. Thank you all for sharing it. So, what support/resources would you offer to someone who is seeking clarity on the basics of being financially stable and understanding finances?
You want me to go? I can go. For me, whenever, I've witnessed anybody who was like seeking financial, understanding finances and financial stability, I always start, you kind of referenced this, Chantrice. You said, what is the goal? Like, that's always my number one, because I feel like whenever you're talking to someone, you want to understand why they're there. I can dump a bunch of resources on anybody's lap, but without understanding what the problem is, I can't offer a solution. So the first thing that I like to do is assess, like, what is your goal? Everybody goes different. Are you motivated by, like what Brittany said? Are you motivated by, I'm trying to get my family to a standard where my kids don't have to worry about anything? It could be something as simple as, I want to buy a house. It can be something as simple as, I want to make sure at the end of the month I have enough money left over. Anything, even down to like, you got teenagers who just started working their first job and being able to understand their paycheck, knowing how to estimate, if I work this many hours, how much money should I make, making sure nobody's cheating you in that way. So for me, it's always understanding the goal. And then, and I always start with that. And then that includes setting a budget. So I always want people to know how to set their budgets. With setting their budgets, that's understanding how much income am I generating every month or whatever period we're analyzing. How much income am I generating? How much are my expenses? Do I have a surplus or a deficit? So basically, do I have money left over or do I not? And then when you put the goal into place, it's like, all right, if I got money left over, do I have enough to fund my goal? If I don't have enough to fund my goal, how can I, i.e. hustle or find a better job or whatever to increase my income? But the other alternative to that is, if there's no way for me to increase my income for whatever reason at this moment, what expenses can I get rid of to generate that extra money that I need to meet this goal? It's always easy to do both. Sometimes your expenses are what they are. But in another thing that I always like to look at too is when you're looking at your income and when you're looking at your expenses, mainly with your expenses, when it comes to eliminating that, are my expenses fixed? Fixed expenses would be things such as like your rent. You got your rent payment every month. It's the same amount every month. If you got a car note, your car payment, your car insurance, which your car insurance might fluctuate every 6 months, but for at least a short period of time, it's the same amount. And then you got your variable expenses, that like your utilities, and because that varies every month. Gas in your car, food, or whatever that you might have. So that's the things that I like to I would inform someone who was looking for the basic financial literacy, because I feel like budgeting is the number one start to that. And once you figure out what you have to work with, how much money do I have left over, then you can start moving towards investing. Then you can start buying properties, and then you can start, if you're self-employed, how can I work the numbers to fit the situation that I want to create for myself? So those are mine, and I would say I'm going a long time. Sorry. And how that has affected, my clients' overall wealth. I've encountered several people who have come to me, a lot of them personal relationships, but I'm all about building my immediate community. Number one, like I would love to do a grand consulting firm, which I'm currently working on, my own things. Yes, ma'am. But over these last years, so I've been directly with family and friends and extended friends. and helping them understand their budget, number one. But one of the outcomes that I had someone sit down with me. We came up with a financial plan. We figured out her goal was to move to a new state at some point in the future, and we sat down, we ran numbers, we came up with the analysis of what she could do. She ended up using that plan to purchase her home. And then now that home is currently serving as residual income for her as she was able to relocate and go to a different state. So that's just one example of like just sitting down, looking at the plan, figuring out what we can do. And as a homeowner myself, being able to provide insight on that was very impactful as well. Sorry, Brittany. Miss Slay. We do need to hear this, but I was going, girl. I can start talking for a minute.
Thank you.
No worries.
So you up next, Britt. Do you need me to read it again for you?
Question? Sure.
Okay, I got you. So what support/resources would you offer to someone who is seeking clarity on the basics of being financially stable and understanding finance?
For me, I'm an accountant, and I try to be my client's main source. I'm an accountant. You mentioned something about representation and having somebody to be vulnerable with. So I try to make sure I'm kind of my client's accountability partner and making sure that I'm there for you to be vulnerable with, because finances is kind of a vulnerable topic, and people have a hard time being honest. First with themselves, and then especially with somebody else. So I try to create a personal relationship with my clients so that they're able to, be open about everything. That way, we can come up, like Lakeithia said, with a plan that fits their goals and everything to be accountable about.
I like that play on words.
Accountable. Okay. Okay, so next part of the question was, how has learning about finances impacted their overall wealth? Like someone you have worked with, like how has them knowing that you've been supportive of them and also being accountable and honest with themselves kind of impacted their overall wealth?
So for me, it's really finances, and I notice how finances affect the Black community a lot mentally, and that's kind of where my focus is as a business and as an individual, is to get my clients to a place where they can mentally breathe and feel comfortable in their situation. So that's mostly the goal for a lot of my individual clients. As far as businesses, I work with different businesses, and for them, it's a little different. Entrepreneurship has become like this trending topic, and everyone's goal is to have their own business. And I think we forget what the real ideal and goal of ownership is in the Black community. So ownership should really be about providing the community with other jobs, whether that's being an employee, having a partnership with other businesses, or, things like franchises, because we have to grow. Our businesses have to grow to a point where it can support a full community and we can service each other inside that community. So really, that's what I'm working towards with most of my clients, is trying to, have a big community, kind of like Tulsa had, Black Wall Street type thing. And we haven't really got there yet because, that's a process. But that's where we're building towards, and that's where my financial community and clients, and that's what we're all working towards. I like to work with people that kind of have the same goals in mind as that. So that's what we're working towards.
I just want to shout out that they mentally coach CPA and accountant on online right now. They work with us. So, but no, like,
yes, ma'am.
All I'm gonna say, y'all, just Family, if you are an entrepreneur, if you are looking for community, representation does matter, and you will find it. And I promise you, as they mentioned, like that mental piece, if I did not have these young women in my corner, okay, I done told y'all how I do with the money, alright? They keep me on the up and up. Do I want to hear it all the time? Absolutely not. Do I want to be honest? Sometimes I'm a sugarcoat, a little white lie, but they still figure it out eventually. So I can't. They call me out, and I get hit on the hand, a couple times. Just saying, I'm human, y'all. Okay, I'm human, but I'm so thankful. Just a vision and just the alignment, what we're moving towards, and I'm very, very thankful to have them to be a part of MC and our girl band. Okay, that's my spiel. No, thank y'all. Go ahead.
I just want to have a quick question for Brittany, because if you don't mind me asking. Because
Sure.
you mentioned that. No, you mentioned that. And I can agree with this. You mentioned that a lot of people are wanting to be entrepreneurs without understanding the definition of that. And a lot of people look at it as, I just want to work for myself and make my own money. But what are you doing to give back and grow the community? So how do you see, or how are you preparing your clients to have that shift in mindset to where they're just not coming to, do this for themselves, but to actually grow a business? Because everybody pretty much is a business owner, right? So how are you, you get what I'm saying?
So one of the main things that I think we both agree on is having a plan. You have to have a plan. You have to have goals that you're working towards. I try to encourage all my clients to be an employer, because that's the top thing. Like, it's okay to make money for yourself, but be an employer, be partnerships in the community, have big goals. Don't have the small business mindset, because there's so much more that you can do, so many other things that you can do. Basically, just have a plan, and a plan of growth. We mentioned something earlier about, I think a lot of businesses and individuals, everything's going to inflate. There's always going to be more expenses, whether you mentioned earlier, is your cable bill going up every month, your car insurance increase every year. So you have to have a growth plan for your sales. Always have a growth plan for your sales. What are other outsources or opportunities that your business can capture, whether that's expanding into a different industry or creating partnerships. For instance, I try to partner with other Heartland, which is like a HR type thing or a payroll type thing, and just spreading the wealth around the community so that we service each other. So put that somewhere in your business plan and make it a goal to grow.
All right, Brittany. No, that was good. No, that was good. That was good. And I'm glad, and I can, just from this statement, I can see how, you said you try to have a trusting and personable relationship with your clients. So I can see how you're doing that, because to even tell somebody think bigger, some people get offended by that. And you do have to have a personal relationship with people to be able to be open with them about how big they should be thinking. And just to make people feel comfortable with knowing that they can achieve that.
Absolutely.
Right.
We got professionals on the line today, as always. Everybody got these monies, man. Oof. I love the front row seat. I love it. But I just want to touch on the fact that you all are bringing your heart into this work, right? And it truly means something. Like y'all spoke about where you started, as far as the first time you really experienced money to where you are now, and giving back and having those goals and being a representation for our community and going back into the community. Because I know you all do a lot. I know you do a lot with the junior league. You got that going on, and Bridget talked about her partnerships within the community. So it's just like it's a beautiful thing to see, right? Because sometimes people they get their money, they kind of skedaddle. You know what I'm saying? And you see them, because social media always show, oh, so they doing this, so they overseas, and that's okay to do. But what else are you doing, right? How else are you helping? So it's a beautiful thing to just see and hear that it didn't stop just once y'all got into the career. Like y'all will continue to expand, y'all will continue to give the community knowledge, and also letting them have success stories too. Because once again, like we said, money it's a touchy topic. It's a taboo in our community. All right, moving on, y'all. Moving on. So, why did you choose a career in finance, and how was that journey? Either or.
So
For me, it just go ahead, girl.
Go ahead, Brittany. I think that go ahead.
I think for me, it just it's crazy because it's kind of cliche, but I remember like we had a decent high school. They taught us about careers and, all of that. So it was always a thought process for me. I always had a plan. I just always been that type of person. And I remember vividly getting on Google and searching jobs with the most job security, jobs that have the highest pay, like little things like that. And the first thing, of course, is like healthcare, like doctor. I saw how long that took for school. I was like, not gonna. So finances was on the next list of things to do. And I actually started my first accounting class in 11th grade. My teacher was Miss Reese. It was an elective class that we had in high school. And I just stuck with it after that.
Full circle moment. So it's not like you was like, oh, I'm gonna do this. This is what I want to do forever. You was like, I need some security. I need to figure out how I can do this and not be out here. I love it.
Yep.
Love it.
Brittany was thinking ahead, boy.
Baby, that's what I'm saying. Because I'm over here thinking about what I was thinking about.
I know. I'm like,
I said, oh no, I gotta figure this
out. For me, I similar, not exactly like Brittany's, but I also my high school also had this like accounting class. Well, it wasn't even accounting; it was like a virtual business called Virtual Enterprise. And my first year in the class, I think my role was like accounts payable clerk or something like that. So that's what really got my mind going there. Oh, this is an actual career. There's because growing up, I didn't know any accountants. I didn't know any CPAs. I didn't know any, like, we didn't have enough money to be even talking to like financial consultants. So there wasn't even something that I knew was a career. But when I took this class, I think my first year taking it was like my sophomore year in high school. And I was accounts payable. And then the next year I took the class again and just like kept getting more roles. The second year, I think I was like CFO, crazy jump, right? And then crazy jump. In my last year, I was a CEO, but I was like, you know what? I like the financial realm of like, because this class, we legitly, everybody had a role. We had a marketing department, we had an accounting department, we had sales department, we had all that in this like virtual class.
That's
and
cool.
We actually, there were other high schools that did it too. Like we had trade shows that we used to go to and like sell our virtual products. It was actually a really cool little process, and I did it my last 3 years of high school. And so that's what really got my mind going to knowing that a career in accounting was a thing. And then I think also just from my background, like growing up and having to learn how to manage money and how to make it stretch and how to think, strategically about money, how to think strategically about finances, going off to college and, Brittany, to your point, how much like $20, $30 to spend for a week. Like I got my granddaddy's food stamp card that that I'm using to get groceries and stuff. So, going into college, I started out in accounting. Brittany, I was similar to you. I was like, what makes money? And then I remember this guy, I ain't gonna call his name out, but he was like, accountants don't make money. And I was like, what? So I started looking and I was like, okay, they make good money. They make good money. But at the same time, he put also in my mind, because again, like my parents aren't college educated. I come from a town of 10,000 people in Tennessee. So I don't have a lot of the people who are like super successful from where I come from aren't my skin tone. So these conversations aren't being talked about in my day-to-day life. Like, I'm first generation college student, so I don't have all these role models that look like me who are doing these things. So I don't even know that these things are an option. But I digress. My point is, I ended up going to college and switched my major to health and human performance based off the fact that they made money. Took my first biology class, and I was like, we're not doing that. We're going back to accounting. And so when I went back to accounting, I took my principles classes, and it was easy. It made sense. And I was like, you know what, this is the track for me. And I always feel like this: anything you're good at, if you're good at it, there's going to be a way for you to make money off of it. So somebody's going to want you if you're good at what you do.
At your capacity.
Major key.
And I don't. Y'all ain't here flipping these dollar bills, baby. Flipping them bills. Man, I am such a proud sister, friend right now. I am. Because because I know my situation, right? And I see just how you all have flourished, and just the dedication, just the commitment, and being intentional. Brittany over here just popping out the womb talking about what makes the most money so I could be started. You know what I'm saying? She was like, I need to play. She said, I had to figure it out, all right? And Twin said, look, y'all ain't looking like me, but I'm going to figure it out. And somebody been whispered in her ear, like, she's like, you know what? I'm going back over this way, because what you talking about ain't what I'm talking about. And just full circle moments. And I don't even think you all really sit on these questions.
Moment for me as well, to have Lakeithia on the call, a fellow brown lady on the call, because when I tell you, from my first job in accounting till now, I haven't had much of us in the field, and it's refreshing to have a fellow, on the call and can talk about. And that's more of my goal, is to create a bigger community of brown financial people for us that can relate to our upbringings, our situations, and help us out.
I know when Chantrice told me that you were Miss Slade told me that you were accountant, Brittany, I was so happy. I was like, let me get Brittany number. Let me call her so we can bounce some ideas off each other. But I definitely...
What you say, Britt?
I said, isn't that crazy that we have to get that excited to see another brown girl in the same field as us?
It is crazy. And but I agree with you, it does need to change. Like, a lot needs to change. So much needs to change, honestly. But we here, and we represent.
Yeah, it has a lot to do with our community knowing the importance of having an accountant, having a CPA, and what value they can bring to your businesses or your individual life, and being willing to spend the money on those things and prioritize our finances. That way, people like you and me can grow our businesses, and in return help businesses grow in our community.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
ma'am.
Y'all over here
now we see who really is Miss Business Mindset. I'm over here in corporate America, just give me my check. Get my money. But at the same time, Brittany, I love the mission that you are on, girl, and you are my motivation and my inspiration, because we get in there. We definitely, got things in store. And you and we've talked about different stuff. So I definitely love the outlook that you have on just accountancy in the brown community and just helping these businesses grow for sure.
Yeah, we all spread out. Miss Slay over there on the West Coast, Lakeithia on the East Coast. I'm down here in the South.
Just pick your choice, baby. Which one you coming to, girl?
Brittany said we're gonna have the market share everywhere.
Man, but that's all right. I came out here with my partner at the time. And it's just like now, as a single black woman in California who's a part of, being in education to now doing my own thing, I was like, I think it'll be very beneficial for, black and brown girls, what I do in order to, retain, my finances, the meal prep, and if I go to TJ Trader Joe's and what that looks like for me, right? So I say that to say, like, representation does matter, and the fact that I'm out here in California, which is like money draining, is like it can be done, even when I do speak about
Yeah.
trying to go versus where I'm at now and how I'm able to maintain. All glory to God, right? But to you all's point, we doing something different, y'all. We doing something big.
Mm-hmm.
Lakeithia from Brownsville. Brittany and I are from Memphis. Say,
I said 10,000 people. I think there was more people that lived on my block in Brooklyn than lives in my city, the town, city, whatever of Brownsville, Tennessee. So.
we hit the ground running, didn't stop. We hit the ground running, didn't stop. Okay. Where we at? Okay. Let's keep going. Okay, so can you share at least one success pertaining to your financial guidance? I think, Lakeithia, you touched on it previously when you were able to help their friend get their property, right?
Mm-hmm.
So just what was the mindset of their friend at the time when they came to you to help them for their success that you all were able to accomplish?
The mindset that friend had at the time, she was actually, working just a job in corporate America, and she was just frustrated because she wanted to change her situation. She was like, this is where I'm at right now. This is where, and I just don't understand. I don't understand why the ball's not moving. Like, why am I still in this spot? And so that was her mindset. And so as we talked about it, we were able to establish, like, what are your goals? What are you looking for? And she would vent to me about what her goals were, but she didn't really see it as something that was obtainable. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of people say that I'm too optimistic sometimes, but but if I'm hearing someone and they're telling me about their dreams, I love someone who has like goals and dreams and they're willing to be used and to be pushed. And so when she was talking to me about it, I was like, well, let's sit down. I think we were sitting in the car, actually. We had one of our chapter meetings, and we were sitting in the car afterwards, and we were just talking. She was just expressing this to me, and I was like, all right, I always keep paper and a pen. Y'all probably see this pen waving in my hand. I always got paper and pen somewhere in my reach. And so I pull the paper out, and I'm like, let's come up with a budget. Let's come up with a plan. Jot everything down. Let's figure this out right now. Because honestly, it takes 20-30 minutes to just put it on paper, but it has to be refined over time. And I think that's the biggest piece, is teaching people how to do it on their own. Teach people the skill. I don't know the saying, because Centuries, you might know it, you're more religious than I. But what they say, you give a man a fish and he eat for a day, and you teach him how to fish. I don't even know if that's a religious saying, but you teach him how to fish and he can eat forever. So and so when she came to me, like, that's my biggest thing. I can get your information, I can create a plan for you, but being able to sit down and show somebody, this is how you do this. This is the way you can think and process through this. This is how you set a goal. This is how you analyze it and bring it to fruition. And so after that, like I said, we only talked at one time. She and I only talked at one time. 6 months later, she was calling me and she was like, "Can you tell me what was the process you went through to buy your house?" Because now, because she set this budget and she's figured it out, and she also knows, like, me being diligent with my own plan and trying to find strategic ways to make it through certain financial situations, I was able to like make purchases. I just celebrated my 30th birthday this year, and I'm proud to say I've purchased 2 homes, one being an investment property now. So, that was one of the, like, my own personal, I guess, like, reward for being diligent with my finances and learning how to use my finances for my own benefit and the knowledge that I have for my own benefit. So I was happy to be able to knowledge share with her on that process. And she bought a house. She's moved to her designated city that she initially talked about, and now she has residual income as well.
Put me in the game, Coach.
Everybody got to get in the game. Everybody got to get. Brittany, I think you're muted though. It looks like you were trying to talk.
Oh, there she go.
Yeah, I was saying you said something right there because, finances is a process. It's not a start and there's not a finish. And us as accountants, CPAs, we have to experience a lot to be able to teach other people to do things. And, any accountant or CPA that tells you they know everything, be careful of them. It's our job to go and seek the information to free you from having to do it. But no one knows everything. We can provide you with a lot of information, but we are more of outsources to be able to find the information that you need and bring it to you.
Exactly.
But just to answer your question, Chantrice, so I worked with a client to bring it back just to entrepreneurship, and she had been filing a loss for a few years just because she wanted to avoid, paying taxes. So she would spend what she made and then, have a loss. But, it comes times, like you said, you come to realize you're ready to be serious and you have other goals besides, paying for daily expenses that you eventually end up writing off. You want to buy a house. That underwriter is going to look at, you made this much, but you also spent it all too. So it was about coming up with a plan to where she would be able to not write off all of her expenses and actually make some profit and have a plan to where it's not overwhelming to have to pay taxes. So that's a big thing, I think, for a lot of entrepreneurs, and is making it past that hurdle of balancing out your income with your expenses and actually profiting and becoming a legit business. Taxes is a part of it. I say, no business, if you're not making no money, it's not a business, it's a hobby. So
if you what? It broke out.
If you're not making any money as a business, it's not a business, it's a hobby.
It's not a business, it's what?
So don't be afraid to pay taxes. A hobby.
Oh, Lord.
Say this 3 times. It's a hobby. And you're right.
It's a hobby.
It's a hobby. But honestly, Brittany, though, you are definitely right. And the IRS will tell you the same thing. If your business have a net loss for 3 out of 5 years, the IRS determines at that point that it's a hobby at that point. And that's for tax purposes. And a lot of people don't really know that. A lot of people will have these like side businesses that they're not, I'm not saying like under the table side business, but legit businesses that they're trying to grow. And like you said, they're claiming as many expenses and deductions as they can to not owe taxes. And yes, that strategy can work for certain parts in the process, but it's a lot that you have to know and be aware of, especially if you are trying to do it on your own. That's why at a certain point it is important to consult with accountants or CPAs or whomever that you need to about how your business is operating. Because as you said, Brittany, it is a hobby, and if you're preparing your taxes on your own for the first 3 years and you constantly reporting a loss, at some point the IRS is going to be like, this at this point, this is you playing games and you just trying to reduce your taxable income, so we're not about to keep playing with you. And at this point it's a hobby, but you want to be able to have a balance of when do I want to show income versus when. I'm not going to say when do I want to show income, but there's like strategy behind all of it. Like, that's what I enjoy. I enjoy the strategy behind finances. I enjoy the strategy behind taxes. I'm not a person that I just like plugging numbers into the tax. Like, and I think that's why I'm okay with corporate America right now, because for me, I understand the concept of owning my own business, and I love doing consulting. But as far as like just being a tax accountant and just strictly doing that, I'm not trying to plug numbers into some software. That's not what I'm trying to spend my career doing. But I would like to have close relationships with businesses so that we can strategize, to continue to build close relationship with businesses and small business owners and individuals, so that we can strategize of what are your goals, what's your future outlook, how can we get you to this point. As far as like people who have these small businesses, like you said, you're an individual. How do you grow this to be something where you can be an employer, where you can have people underneath you? Or if you just want to do this so that you can sell at some point, because I mean, that's how you get rich, honestly. Put your time in, grow it, sell it, look at Twitter. He just made a lot of people hella rich. So I don't even know what we're talking about. But Brittany, I agree with everything you said. And keep working, black lady.
You black queen, you.
Black queen. That's what I'm trying to get out.
Yeah, I can eat it. But hey, just don't forget about me, y'all. All right, okay. Woo! I'm
Don't forget about you.
Along with us.
Y'all
Exactly.
know I though. I'm in the suitcase. What you say?
Exactly. Now you're gonna be walking right beside us. What you talking about?
And that's all I'm saying, because at the end of the day, y'all know what's up.
Yes, ma'am.
Britt, can you do something? Twin, can you? Please help me. But nah, I'm pretty sure a lot of people out there are feeling right now. Woo! If you're drowning, call on them. All right, let's keep it moving. Doing really good on time. Okay. So after this question, we have 2 more questions. Okay. So this one is: what has been your biggest money accomplishment as a young Black millennial? Tips on how you did it. You start first, Britt.
I think my biggest accomplishment was finally making 6 figures, which was combining corporate America with my side, my business, because I couldn't do it on my own. So I had, I still have to work with corporate America and bridge the gap, because that was a big goal for me. And I don't know why that number just feels good to hit. But it is still important. Now I'm trying to profit into 6 figures. So that's my next goal.
I can't wait to see that picture.
Thank you.
Was there anything else that you wanted to add to that, or how you did it, other than merging both your personal business and also just your corporate business?
At the stage I'm at, I think the merging corporate, not being afraid to contract out with corporate was really the main thing, because my business on its own is just not there yet. I'm gonna make it clear, yet. So corporate was important for me. Yeah. So I still do contracts with different firms, just to kind of bridge the gap of my income with the business and cover different expenses. So
Okay.
don't be afraid of corporate America. Entrepreneurship doesn't mean you don't. People have to look at their job as just another partnership, you know? It's just another partnership.
Mind over matter. Mind over matter where you trying to be, right? And what resources can support you in doing it. I hear that. 6-figure shawty. What's up?
And I'm hoping to get some passive income through real estate as well. So maybe Lakithia can help me out with that.
Definitely got you, girl. That's what I love. Boy, I love some real estate.
Yes,
I love some real estate. So to me, speaking of real estate though, that I would say, Brittany, I definitely understand you. I feel like 6 figures is a number that everybody be like, I just gotta hit it. I just gotta taste it. I need to taste it. And it does taste really good. So I'm proud of you for getting that. And I can't wait to see your business flourish to being a profitable 6-figure business.
Agreed.
For me, I guess my biggest accomplishment as a young Black millennial, I would say is my investments, my property ownership. Just having bought my first home, I think I was like 20, 21, 22 when I bought my first house. And being able to sell that and take that money and invest further. Travel, honestly, you know how we do. Let me go travel a little bit. Right. But no, the biggest accomplishments to me, honestly, financially, was being able to have home ownership. I think that a lot of people don't really understand how. Again, I'm using strategy so much because strategy is everything. Like a lot of people, they don't understand strategy. There's a way to make a way out of no way in every situation. And I think my biggest accomplishment is having the ability to learn that, to be connected with different people. And I'm not just being able to build those relationships, to know where to go for solutions. Where can I go for this? If I did this, how can I get to the next level? And so being able to come up with strategic plans to purchase properties. Like I said, I wasn't, definitely not early 20s, like definitely not making 6 figures. And so I had to figure out how can I make it benefit for me, even with real estate. Like, how can I structure, obviously the market fluctuates, but with my first property, how can I structure this offer to where I can still close on this property, how I can get this. So there's just a bunch of strategy with everything that you do. And with that, real estate was my biggest accomplishment. Now I have a rental property that I've had. I've bought, I've sold, I understand it. And as I continue to navigate where I want to live next, or, just invest in next, I'm thinking about what's my next financial real estate purchase, what's my next investment. So that's my biggest thing. And the other thing too, let me go and plug that. Financially, in Tennessee, I was a sister lock consultant. The locks, yes. What was big for me, another big accomplishment that I had, and I'm gonna make this real quick. I remember when I first took the sister lock course, because you have to pay to take the course. You got to invest in yourself. I don't know how much it was at the time, maybe like $1,500. And then I was working as an auditor in corporate America in public accounting, and I had a client the week that they were going to be, because I was living in Tennessee at the time. There was a client that I was working on that week, so I couldn't do the Atlanta one. I drove all the way to Maryland to take this class, one weekend, when I wasn't assigned on this crazy job. Drove to Maryland, took this class, invested my money, because like I said, I'm all about investments. I'm all about strategy. I'm all about goals. I know you got to put some money in to get a reward out. Mm-hmm. I took the class. To get certified, you have to do a certain amount of people's hair. And this is my side hustle. I'm still a CPA. I'm still working at this time, I'm working as an auditor for a CPA firm, working 45 to 60 hours a week as an auditor. But here I go saying, I'm going to make a little extra money. Because I want to pay off debt. This is my mindset. I want to pay off debt. Let me make some extra money. My goal was to only make a couple of $100s a month. But I did sister locks for maybe a year and a half part-time. by the end, my last client that I took in Tennessee was right before I moved to New York. I helped train, like I'm all about knowledge sharing, so I encouraged like a couple of my clients to take the class, and I allowed them to kind of like be under like an apprenticeship with me as they, got a little hands on. So I let them work on some of my active clients. But at the end of me taking this class, this Sister Lock course, from getting my first client and having a goal of making a couple $100s a month, by the time I was done and getting ready to move to New York, I had over 30 clients. I had touched over 50 heads. And at this point, my Sister Lock business, part-time Sister Lock business that I was doing in addition to my full-time job, was paying my mortgage. So that was a major accomplishment for me. And Brittany, it sounds like your family is very supportive. And I'm not going to say mine's not supportive, but I think another issue that we have in our community is the lack of support, especially when you have big dreams financially. People will look at it, who haven't done, and they'll look at you and they'll say, you can't do that, or that's a little hobby. Because that's what my mom said to me about my Sister Lock business, as I was trying to like build up my clientele. Because like I said, you have to do so many people's hair to get certified with the business. With everything, you got to show proof before you can certify something. Right. And so, and I was like trying to get people to let me do their Sister Locks. Not everybody want me to do their Sister Locks, but at the time, I'm like, who gonna let me do your hair? My mom was like, nobody's go somewhere with their little hobby. And I hate to do stuff in her face, but I feel so good being able to like send her videos of my money laid out. Yeah, that came from my little hobby. But I'm not discrediting my mom. My mom definitely supports me, but because she has not grown up with that financial literacy, and not knowing what she's capable of doing, she wasn't able to give me that support growing up. But even now, I found myself teaching over the years, she's caught on to like my ways and she's learned herself. And even now, like my mom has a savings account. Like I said, when we first got on this phone, she had me on the phone with, the light office trying to make an extension on when the payment was going to be due. So to see that my mom has even grown to a point where she has savings and she doesn't have to worry about anything. And she understands the importance of money. That means a lot to me. So even that impact is a major accomplishment for me.
Whew. Y'all be sitting on gold, don't you? I'm doing 2 snaps, man. Well, how many did I do? I don't even remember. But come on, beautiful Black women, and it's money management.
Doing what we can.
Put me in the game, coach. But listen, I will say I have gotten better. Because I'm like, look, y'all know what y'all know I used to be on.
Patrice had them nails, baby.
Y'all know I used to be on them nails. Y'all know I used to be on them nails. But it's so good to not be attached to it, though. I will be honest. In a moment that I can't be, right? Can't be attached. And even now, get my hair done. Yes, I can do my own hair. But do I want to? Absolutely not. Do I want to get locked up? Sometimes I have wild dreams. And I be like, yeah, I do. But then I'm like, never mind. Because then it does this to me. But I'm just so proud. I'm so proud of y'all. Thank y'all for sharing it. Thank you all for being vulnerable in this moment and opening up about how you did it and how you're continuing to do it. All right, so we got after this question one more, okay? So, what is next for you?
Everything.
Okay, now.
Everything. Honestly, I've been getting asked this question so much, and right now I'm just trying to step more into my purpose. I want to be able to help more people understand business, help more small businesses, find those resources, like Brittany said, be a point of contact for people to feel comfortable, knowing that they're in a safe space to grow their business, and not just in tax, not just being your accountant, but being able to be a consultant in researching and finding solutions and helping see big picture and helping grow to big picture areas. So I'm working on my own consulting firm, and it's in the works. We're just fine tuning what services we're going to offer whenever people need, whenever they need it. So that's what we're working on. And in the meantime, I'm still in corporate America. Corporate America is not disappointing me right now. So that's what we're doing. And honestly, I want to, yeah. I just want to be able to help reach people, but also, grow in my own areas as well.
A little birdie told me you had a call this week. Definitely to me calling. How did that go?
This week has been one hell of a week, Chantrice. I can tell you that, but I'm grateful for it, for sure.
Stay tuned, y'all. Brittany, what about you, girl? What do you have?
For me, I'm hoping to expand into East Coast, West Coast. I am like fully virtual, fully remote, and I think I'm going to try to take advantage of that because I see a lot of businesses are struggling. Like you said, your cost of living is so high out there. A lot of businesses are trying to outsource, and I feel like creating a fully virtual firm would allow me to employ some other people, contract out some work from other businesses, creating a full accounting department for them, and allow them to escape those expenses like healthcare and all of that stuff because everything will be remote and virtual. So that's what I'm working on right now.
I love it.
So Cali people, I'm here to help.
Now, Brittany, when I be recommending people to you, I be sending folks now. So I'm gonna keep sending them. So when it's low from the east,
let me just make this. I know. I will make this clear. I'm very I'm open to help anyone and everyone. However, I do believe that relationships are important, and you have to find people that work for you, especially when it comes to finances. If you're a business, we're fine, but individual people, I want to make sure that I'm a good fit for you and you're a good fit for me. Right now, I'm focusing on real estate, beauty industry, and logistics. So those are my main focus, just to kind of focus my expertise to be able to specialize and provide expert knowledge in those specific areas.
All right, Brittany.
Look, she got her why. Those are why.
Brittany, let me. Brittany definitely. Brittany, listen. When Brittany graduated high school, Brittany said, "I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna make this money, and I'm gonna make my own money, and I'm gonna pass this business down to my kids." Brittany, maybe I need some kids so I can get that kind of motivation.
Brittany playing with y'all, man.
Different type of push. It's definitely a different type of push, but that's also why I didn't do so much audit and firm work at first, because I had kids and they are very strict about that 45 to 60 hours a week. So.
I love that.
They do. And then you start working for yourself and you working 70 hours a week.
Man, listen.
Dude.
I'm tired. But it's a beauty in it too, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know for me, I was lagging, like, man, there's a lot I gotta. But the moment you get engrossed in it and continue to move and go, you're like, okay. I usually wake up at 3 a.m, but clearly, I've been sleeping in a bit because woo-wee, get stuff done.
I'm like, Chantrice, it's 6 o'clock here, it's 3 o'clock her time. But usually she up liking stuff on Instagram. I go call Chantrice, come on, let's do some devotion. Let's do a workout real quick at 6 a.m. because I know she up. Why you ain't answering the phone, Chantrice?
Yeah.
Knocked out.
I'm
tired.
What I tell you today, Twin? Why I'm tired?
Tired. She been working. Chantrice been busy. She's focused as well. She got her why and she working towards it.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. It's not cookie cutter. It's not black and white. Everybody don't get it the same way, but I'm telling you, get your team, y'all. Get your team that believe in your dreams. That's what one of my mentors told me, and I was like, oh man, yeah, they believe. But the moment that I feel defeated, the moment that I feel like maybe this ain't it, they like, bro, no, you know what you're doing. You just need to strategize. You know, my credit director telling me that. My accountants, my CPA is telling me that. Like, everybody like, no, this is what you need to do. I'm gonna be open and transparent with y'all about it because as we talked about business owners, like we see how cute it look, right? But being in that nitty gritty, just imagine people who don't have this type of support. I'm just saying, so seek it. And if you don't know how to seek it, seek us so we can help you seek it. Shout out to Missing Culture. That's what we're here for. Wellness consultation firm. I'm gonna let y'all answer another question. Then I'm gonna drop a gem. I'm gonna drop some news here. Then I'm gonna read a poem and we're gonna head that, okay? Last thing. I want y'all to get a family. One thing or 1 to 2 things that they can do that can allow them to be a money magnet. When I say money magnet, it means getting their wealth in check, understanding those systems, understanding their strategy, understanding their budget, understanding the steps they need to take, what they ordering at the grocery store. Like, what mindset allows us to be money magnets within our coaching? 1 to 2 things. You go first, Britt.
So I think me and Lakeithia are gonna probably agree on this: is create a strategy, create a plan. If you're an individual, your budget is your business plan. So you have to have that to know where you're going, to know what you're spending, to know what you're doing to get towards your goal. So always have a plan, even if that plan is to fail, because you know you can pick up from it. But another thing is, if you're going to be a money magnet, don't get caught up in social media and the material things that you see, because it's flashy, but it's not always real. You know, one thing I will say is be very purposeful with credit, because I see a lot, like a hot topic is running up your credit, having $15,000 credit and running it up. Credit is for leverage to invest, leverage to, only supposed to be done to invest, not to live off of, not to buy clothes. And if you got a car for business, maybe, but if you're not using it for business, if you're not using it as an investment, you're really just spending money you don't have. Don't do that. You're just setting yourself up for failure. So those are my tips to be a money magnet.
I agree with you on that, Brittany, for sure. My tips to being a money magnet. Number one, I feel like is mindset. First tip to being a money magnet is having a mindset. So many people aren't money magnets because they don't think that they can be that. They don't think that they can make the money. How am I going? Like the first question a lot of people ask is, how do you expect me to do that? How do you expect me to do that? So, believing, number one, that you can, and then setting a goal and creating a strategy. Brittany said, we both definitely agree on that. You got to create a strategy to where you're going to be. But mindset is the most important thing to becoming a money magnet. Just like with anything in life, it's all about your mindset. What are you putting out in the universe? Because that's what you're going to get in return.
Y'all better write some things down now. Y'all come back to the video if you need to. So, as you all can see, these queens, these beautiful black queens, what did they do? They did exactly what this button says. Trust you, love you, be you, baby. Come on, man. Playing with them. Woo. Y'all, look, I'm going to have another conversation off camera with them because I learned some things I didn't know. It wasn't a lot that I didn't know. I'm telling you right now. But but let me go ahead and read our poem for today, okay? You can also find this poem on our social media. Anyway, Harlem by Langston Hughes.
My
What
favorite
happens
one.
to a dream deferred? Does it dry up like a raisin in the sun, or fester like a sore and then run? Does it stick like rotten meat, or crust and sugar over like a syrupy sweet? Maybe it just sags like a heavy load, or does it explode? Harlem by Langston Hughes.
That's one of my favorite poems. I love Langston Hughes.
Shout out to young Langston.
I love Langston.
Um,
Good choice, Shantry.
thank you. You still but you see what I'm saying. You see what I'm saying.
I got you.
This inspired me because yeah, my friends and family have benefited off of my hobby, and now we're gonna bring full force. So I will be offering my life coach services soon. So sign up.
I will be offering my individual and small businesses services. Anything else major tax related, I'm sending that to Brittany. I work with small businesses. Close relationships.
I will clients. Definitely do that.
Some stuff I just want to do.
Listen, money man.
I completely understand.
What you say?
I said I completely understand her with the tax.
Some stuff I just do not want to listen. I just don't want to do it. I'm not even gonna lie. Sometimes I'm like, I don't care how much money it's gonna make. I don't want to do it.
Hey, sometimes you gotta have that hard boundary. Look, y'all, I gotta come back because I just was made aware I didn't do a proper intro for Twin, aka Lakeithia. I told y'all about Brit, and then we jump right in my mind, y'all. But listen, okay, Lakeithia in there. You want to tell them how we met? Nah, I'm gonna tell y'all. So, when I was in high school and I was trying to figure out where I was going to college, right? I went through this program for a mentor to teach us about the campus. They linked me up with this man. This man ain't no but like how many months older than me? But she acted like she got 2 years. But listen, we've been connected ever since. And what was so crazy, not only was she my mentor for UTC, but once I got to campus, everybody kept confusing me with her. And had I not known who she was, I would have felt some type of way. But the fact that I knew, I was like, okay, you know what I'm saying? It's the homie. So when you hear me say twin, because they used to get us mixed up, I can't get rid of them. Am I trying to? I'm not.
You're not. I ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, period. What you be saying? But no, this is the essence of what me and the homies been talking about, right?
I don't know.
I was like, oh, not bad. I was over here because I was talking about how me and Bridget met in elementary. Did not. We got close.
Where was it?
It been stuck ever since.
It was in high school.
That's all, folks. We done for real, man. Go read that poem by Langston Hughes. Miss Lee Culture wants to thank you beautiful ladies for being here today, being vulnerable, sharing these gems with us, and being yourself, and being some of my favorite people in the world. We love you all. We see you all, and we got you. We out.
Thank you.